Nothing about this fish makes sense. It has a completely transparent head. Its eyes point straight up inside its skull. And it sees the world in a way no other creature on Earth can. This is the barreleye fish, and everything you think you know about how eyes work is about to be challenged. Welcome to Miss Science, and today we're diving 2,000 feet beneath the ocean surface to meet one of the most bizarre and fascinating creatures ever discovered. A fish so strange that when scientists first found it, they thought it was broken. A fish that spent over 70 years confusing marine biologists. A fish that solved an evolutionary problem in the most unexpected way possible. By the end of this deep dive, you'll understand why this creature's design is pure genius, why it took us decades to understand how it really works, and why the ocean's twilight zone continues to produce animals that seem impossible. Let's explore the mysterious world of the barreleye fish. Imagine you're descending into the ocean. You pass the sunlit surface where dolphins play and coral reefs thrive. You keep going. The light starts to fade. Colors disappear one by one. Red goes first, then orange, then yellow. By 200 meters down, you're in a blue-gray world. But you keep descending. 300 meters. 400 meters. 600 meters. The pressure is crushing. The temperature drops to just above freezing. And the darkness. The darkness is almost complete. Welcome to the mesopelagic zone. Scientists call it the twilight zone of the ocean. This is a world that exists between 200 and 1,000 meters below the surface. Too deep for sunlight to properly reach. Too shallow to be the true abyss. A strange, dark, in-between place. And this is where the barreleye fish lives. Down here, there's not enough light to see colors. There's barely enough light to see at all. What little sunlight penetrates this deep is a dim, ghostly blue glow from far above. It's like being in a massive dark room with a single weak light bulb on the ceiling a mile away. For most animals, this would be impossible to navigate. But evolution doesn't give up easily. And the creatures down here have adapted in the most extraordinary ways. Some fish create their own light through bioluminescence, glowing in the dark like living lanterns. Others have enormous eyes, trying to capture every possible photon. Some have given up on eyes entirely, relying on other senses. But the barreleye fish? It did something nobody expected. It made its head transparent. The barreleye fish was first discovered in 1939. A scientist named Chapman brought up a specimen from the deep and immediately knew something was wrong, or at least, very strange. The fish had a normal-looking body. Typical fish shape. Fins in the right places. But its head was like nothing anyone had seen before. Where you'd expect to find eyes on the sides of the head, like most fish, there were two dark spots. They looked like eyes. Everyone assumed they were eyes. But they weren't. The real eyes were inside the head. Two green, barrel-shaped structures pointing straight up through a transparent dome of tissue. The fish was essentially looking through its own skull. Scientists were baffled. How does this work? Why would evolution design something so bizarre? And most confusingly, how does a fish with upward-pointing eyes that can't move catch prey in front of it? For over 70 years, these questions remained unanswered. Every specimen that was brought to the surface was dead or dying. The extreme pressure change from the deep ocean to the surface destroyed the delicate transparent dome. The fish would arrive at research vessels damaged, its head collapsed, its true structure hidden. Scientists drew diagrams based on dead specimens. They wrote papers theorizing about rigid, upward-pointing eyes. They assumed the fish could only look up, never forward. It was a mystery wrapped in a puzzle, hidden in the darkest parts of the ocean. Then, in 2004, everything changed. A team of researchers from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute did something revolutionary. Instead of bringing the fish to the surface, they brought cameras to the fish. Using remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, equipped with high-definition cameras, they descended into the twilight zone. And there, at depths between 600 and 800 meters, they found living barreleye fish in their natural habitat. What they saw was absolutely stunning. The transparent dome was perfect, completely clear, like a fighter pilot's canopy made of living tissue. And inside this dome, the barrel-shaped eyes could rotate. The fish wasn't stuck looking up. It could point its eyes forward whenever it wanted. This changed everything. The mystery that had confused scientists for 7 decades was finally solved. But the solution revealed something even more incredible than anyone had imagined. Let's talk about those eyes, because they're unlike anything else in the animal kingdom. Most fish have eyes on the sides of their heads. This gives them a wide field of view, allowing them to see predators approaching from almost any direction. It's a good design for survival in the open ocean. But the barreleye fish lives in near total darkness. Wide peripheral vision doesn't help when there's nothing to see. Instead, the barreleye needed to solve a different problem: how to detect the faintest possible light and track fast-moving prey in 3-dimensional space. The solution? Tubular eyes. Instead of round eyeballs, the barreleye has cylindrical, barrel-shaped eyes. They look like 2 green tubes pointing up through its transparent head. These aren't just oddly shaped eyes. They're precision optical instruments. Tubular eyes are incredibly sensitive to light. The barrel shape allows for a much larger lens relative to the size of the eye. A larger lens captures more light. More light means better vision in extreme darkness. Think of it like the difference between looking through a paper towel tube versus looking through a wide window. The tube gives you a narrow but focused view. The window gives you a broad but less focused view. In the twilight zone, where every photon counts, the barreleye chose the tube. But there's a trade-off. Tubular eyes can't move easily inside the skull like round eyes can. They're locked in place, pointed in one direction. For most of the barreleye's evolutionary history, that direction was straight up. But because that's where the light is. Even at 800 meters deep, a tiny amount of sunlight filters down from above. And more importantly, that's where the prey is silhouetted. The barreleye fish primarily hunts small fish, jellyfish, and zooplankton. Many of these creatures live slightly above the barreleye's hunting zone. When they swim between the barreleye and the distant surface light, they create shadows. Tiny, faint shadows. But shadows nonetheless. With its ultra-sensitive upward-pointing eyes, the barreleye can detect these shadows. It can see the silhouette of a small jellyfish or fish larva drifting 50 feet above. And that's when the hunt begins. But here's the problem scientists couldn't solve for 70 years. How does a fish with eyes permanently pointed up catch prey that ends up in front of its mouth? This is where the transparent head becomes crucial. That dome of clear tissue isn't just a protective bubble. It's filled with a clear fluid, probably similar to the vitreous humor in our own eyes. This fluid keeps the shape of the dome and protects the delicate eye structures from the crushing pressure of the deep ocean. But more importantly, it creates an optical environment where the eyes can move. Inside the dome, the barrel-shaped eyes aren't rigidly attached to the skull. They can rotate forward. When the barreleye spots prey above, it looks up, tracking the target. When it's time to strike, the eyes rotate forward, and the fish swims straight toward its meal. It's like having a fighter jet with a heads-up display that can switch views. Looking up to scan the sky, then instantly looking forward to engage the target. This is extraordinary engineering. The transparent head acts as a stabilized optical chamber. The eyes act as rotatable sensors. And the fish can seamlessly switch between surveillance mode and attack mode. No other known fish does this. Not even close. Now let's talk about that transparent head, because this might be the most mind-blowing part. Making body parts transparent is incredibly difficult. Most biological tissues scatter light. Skin, muscle, bone, they all have different densities and structures that bend and reflect light in different ways. That's why you can't see through your hand. But the barreleye somehow evolved a section of its head that's completely see-through. The dome is made of a specialized tissue that's extremely thin and has a uniform density throughout. Light passes through it without scattering. It's similar to the transparent cornea in our eyes, but covering a much larger area. And it has to be strong. Remember, this fish lives at depths where the pressure is immense. At 800 meters, the pressure is roughly 80 times what we experience at sea level. That's like having a large elephant standing on every square inch of your body. The transparent dome has to withstand this crushing force while remaining perfectly clear. One crack, one opaque spot, and the whole visual system fails. Scientists believe the dome is also filled with a fluid that helps equalize pressure and maintain the shape. This fluid is probably similar to the aqueous humor in our eyes, transparent and optically neutral. But here's something even more fascinating. The dome might also protect the eyes from the stinging cells of jellyfish. Barreleye fish are known to steal food from jellyfish, particularly siphonophores. These are colonial jellyfish-like creatures with long, stinging tentacles that can stretch for meters. Small fish and zooplankton get caught in these tentacles, and the barreleye swoops in to steal the trapped prey. It's a risky strategy. Those tentacles are covered in nematocysts, stinging cells that can paralyze small fish. But the barreleye's transparent dome might provide protection, allowing it to swim through the tentacles while keeping its eyes and brain safe. It's not just a window. It's armor. Transparent armor. So we know the barreleye has upward-pointing eyes that can rotate forward, and a transparent head that protects them. But how does it actually hunt? The process is remarkably sophisticated. The barreleye typically hangs motionless in the water, oriented at a slight upward angle. It's not actively swimming. It's hovering, perfectly still, like a submarine at neutral buoyancy. In this position, its eyes are pointed up, scanning the water above. The green tubular eyes are incredibly sensitive, able to detect the faintest movements and shadows against the dim light filtering from far above. The green color is important. Most light at these depths is blue. The barreleye's eyes contain a green pigment that filters out some of the background blue light, making it easier to detect the bioluminescence of prey, which is often also blue or green. It's like wearing tinted glasses that enhance contrast. When the barreleye detects movement above, perhaps a small fish or a drifting jellyfish, it continues to track the target while remaining still. The eyes can move independently to some degree, allowing binocular vision and depth perception. This is crucial. In three-dimensional space with no reference points, you need stereo vision to judge distance. Once the barreleye has calculated the target's trajectory and distance, it makes its move. The eyes rotate forward. The fish orients its body toward the prey. And then, with a burst of speed, it strikes. The mouth is positioned to grab prey directly in front. With the eyes now facing forward, the barreleye has perfect visibility during the final approach. It can make last-second adjustments, compensating for the prey's movements. After capturing its meal, the eyes rotate back up, and the barreleye returns to its hovering surveillance position. Waiting. Watching. Always looking up. It's an ambush predator with a periscope. Now, those dark spots on the sides of the barreleye's head that everyone thought were eyes? They're actually nostrils. Olfactory organs. They look like eyes, but they serve a completely different purpose. This might seem like a bizarre design, having fake eyes on the outside while the real eyes are hidden inside. But it might actually be a form of deception. Many predators in the ocean hunt by recognizing the eye pattern of prey. Eyes are usually a fish's most vulnerable and important feature. If you attack the head, you attack the brain and sensory organs. So predators instinctively target eyes. By having decoy eyes on the outside, the barreleye might be confusing potential predators. An attacking fish might strike at the false eyes, missing the real vulnerable areas. Meanwhile, the real eyes are safely tucked inside the transparent dome, protected from damage. It's biological misdirection. A magic trick evolved over millions of years. The barreleye isn't the only fish with unusual eyes in the deep ocean, but it's definitely the most extreme example. Other deep-sea fish have developed different solutions to the darkness problem. Some, like the stoplight loosejaw, have enormous eyes and can produce red bioluminescence, which most deep-sea creatures can't see. It's like having infrared night vision. Others, like the spookfish, have mirrors instead of lenses in their eyes. The mirror reflects light onto the retina, increasing sensitivity. It's the only known vertebrate with mirror-based eyes. And some fish have completely abandoned vision, relying instead on lateral line systems that detect vibrations, or bioluminescent lures to attract prey close enough to sense by other means. But the barreleye's combination of transparent head, rotatable tubular eyes, and precise hunting strategy is unique. It's a one-of-a-kind evolutionary solution. This raises an interesting question. Why didn't other fish evolve similar features? The answer probably has to do with the barreleye's specific ecological niche. It hunts in a very particular way, in a very particular zone, targeting very particular prey. The transparent head and tubular eyes are perfect for this lifestyle but might not work as well for fish with different hunting strategies or habitat preferences. Evolution doesn't create perfect organisms. It creates organisms that are good enough to survive in their specific environment. The barreleye is perfectly adapted for hovering in the twilight zone, looking up for shadows, and stealing food from jellyfish. But this design might be terrible for fish that need to chase fast-moving prey horizontally, or burrow in the seafloor, or hide in coral reefs. Every adaptation is a trade-off. The barreleye traded peripheral vision and a protected brain cavity for extreme upward sensitivity and rotatable precision optics. In its world, that trade-off is worth it. For 70 years, scientists were wrong about how the barreleye worked because they were studying dead fish. This is a crucial lesson in marine biology. Deep-sea creatures are incredibly fragile. The adaptations that allow them to survive at extreme depths often make them impossible to study at the surface. When you bring a deep-sea fish up rapidly, several things happen. The pressure drops dramatically. Gases dissolved in the fish's tissues expand. Swim bladders, if present, inflate and sometimes rupture. Delicate tissues collapse or distort. For the barreleye, the transparent dome would lose its shape. The fluid inside might leak out or become cloudy. The eyes, normally suspended in a stable medium, would shift out of position. By the time scientists got the specimen to a lab, it looked completely different from a living fish in its natural habitat. This is why the ROV footage from 2004 was so revolutionary. For the first time, scientists could observe barreleye fish behaving naturally in their environment. They could see the transparent dome intact. They could watch the eyes rotate. They could observe hunting behavior. It completely changed our understanding of the species. And this is true for many deep-sea creatures. We're learning that a lot of what we thought we knew about life in the deep ocean was wrong because we were basing our knowledge on damaged or dead specimens. The deep ocean is like an alien planet. The pressure, the darkness, the cold, these are conditions more extreme than anywhere on land. And yet, life thrives there. Life adapts. Life finds solutions. The barreleye fish is a perfect example of how evolution can produce something that seems impossible, and yet, there it is, hovering in the darkness, looking up through its transparent skull, perfectly adapted to a world we're only beginning to understand. Let's talk about how rare these fish are and how little we still know about them. Barreleye fish sightings are extremely uncommon. They live at depths that are difficult and expensive to explore. Submersibles and ROVs capable of reaching 600 to 800 meters are sophisticated, costly equipment. Research vessels need to spend hours, sometimes days, searching the twilight zone just to find a single specimen. Since the 2004 breakthrough footage, there have been only a handful of additional sightings. Each new video or photograph is carefully studied, frame by frame, to extract every possible detail about their behavior. We still don't know basic things about their life cycle. How do they reproduce? How long do they live? What's their growth rate? Do they migrate vertically through the water column, or stay at consistent depths? How many exist in the ocean? These are fundamental biological questions, and we simply don't have answers yet. We also don't know how many species of barreleye exist. The most commonly studied species is Macropina microstoma, but there are related species in the same family with similar features. Are they all capable of rotating their eyes? Do they all have transparent heads? Do different species specialize in different prey or habitats? The ocean is vast, and we've explored less than 5% of it. The twilight zone, in particular, remains one of the least understood ecosystems on Earth. There could be dozens of barreleye species we haven't discovered yet, each with subtle variations in their incredible design. Every expedition to the deep ocean reveals something new. New species, new behaviors, new adaptations that seem to defy logic. And this is what makes marine biology so exciting. We're living in an era of discovery. We have the technology, finally, to explore these extreme environments. And what we're finding is beyond anything we imagined. The barreleye fish represents everything that's fascinating about the deep ocean. It's bizarre. It's beautiful in its strangeness. It challenges our assumptions about what's possible. And it reminds us that nature is endlessly creative, constantly experimenting, always finding new solutions to ancient problems. Down in the twilight zone, where the pressure is crushing and the darkness is nearly absolute, the barreleye hovers silently. Its transparent head catches the faintest glimmer of light from above. Its green tubular eyes scan the water, searching for shadows and movement. It doesn't know it's bizarre. It doesn't know it confused scientists for 7 decades. It doesn't know it has a transparent skull and rotatable eyes unlike any other creature on Earth. It just knows how to survive in one of the most hostile environments imaginable. And that, in the end, is what evolution is all about. Not creating perfect organisms, but creating organisms that work. Organisms that survive long enough to reproduce. Organisms that pass their genes to the next generation. The barreleye works. Beautifully. Perfectly. Impossibly. It's a fish that sees through its own head. A fish that solved the problem of hunting in darkness with an engineering solution so elegant, so unexpected, that it took us 70 years to understand it. And it's swimming right now, thousands of feet below the surface, in a world of perpetual twilight, looking up through its transparent dome, watching for the next meal to drift by. We've barely scratched the surface of understanding life in the deep ocean. Every expedition brings new surprises. Every new piece of technology allows us to see a little further, a little deeper, a little clearer. The barreleye fish is one of the most extreme examples of deep-sea adaptation we've discovered so far. But it's almost certainly not the strangest thing down there. There are creatures in the abyss we haven't even seen yet. Animals with senses we can't imagine. Evolutionary solutions to problems we don't yet understand. The ocean is our planet's last frontier. And explorers like the barreleye fish remind us that we still have so much to learn. So the next time you look at the ocean, remember, beneath those waves, in the deep darkness, there are fish with transparent heads and rotating eyes. There are creatures that glow in the dark, that hunt with mirrors, that survive in conditions that would kill us in seconds. The barreleye fish isn't just a weird animal. It's a testament to the power of evolution. A reminder that life finds a way, even in the most impossible places. A window, quite literally, into a world we're only beginning to explore. Nothing about this fish makes sense. Until you understand where it lives, what it hunts, and how evolution shaped it for that specific purpose. And then, suddenly, it makes perfect sense. The barreleye fish, nature's submarine, with a transparent canopy and a periscope that never stops watching the world above.